Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Dan. And today, I have to ask a very good question. Why can't we get a good LGBT movie? I know, before you say Brokeback Mountain, blah 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 blah. But honestly, I think that movie's overrated. I think it was really all that good, really. Before anybody gets any stupid ideas, I'm not homophobic. I don't hate the LGBT community or anything like that. I just think a lot of the movies are pretty bad. At least, at the very least, the vast majority of them anyway. And I just trying to think this video as a criticism as to the one I'm going to be reviewing, folks. So think of it in that regard. Just a criticism as to some of the movies in a way, I guess you can say, folks. Yes, sir. This is the one I'm going to be reviewing, folks. Yep, a lesbian type movie. Yes, sir. Yeah, like I haven't seen like a truck ton of these already. And yeah, here you go. Yes, sir. Yes, folks, there's already plenty of lesbian themed movies. I'm not going to list every single one right here, folks, but just like I said, there's a lot of them. And I do mean lots of lesbian themed movies. Some are good, some are bad, some are just okay, I guess. But the point is that there's a truck ton of these films that's already been made for the past, what, decade or so, or whatnot. And I know they will continue to be making these films, which in itself doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing already, folks. But I'm just saying for the LGBT community, this kind of thing has been done multiple times before. And yeah, usually, not always, but usually they would pick two women who are straight up lesbian. Never bisexual, rarely bisexual, but just lesbian right off the bat. So, like I said, this thing has been done before, and of course, it's either gonna be self discovery or she already knows right off the bat for whatever reason. So, yeah, like I said, this kind of a thing has been done quite a few times already. So yeah, that's the thing I've noticed over the years, folks. This kind of movies being made repeatedly, either using the same plot line over and over again, or try or whatnot. And I can see that it is usually a method of self-discovery in some places, and acceptance, of course, discovering oneself, whatever. Yeah, this kind of a thing has been done quite a few times in the past, and sometimes in maybe a comedy or whatever. It's usually done in a comedic effect, I guess. There's some drama movies, I guess you would say, that it was done in like this manner and whatnot. It's usually a comedy or drama type movie, and that's about it. Like this one, for example. This is definitely a comedy here. And so, yeah, that's the thing, folks. So it's either one or the other. And even then, it just kind of feels like some of the plot lines. Okay, not always, but usually the plot lines feel like they were repeated over and over again, folks. Well, folks, if you've been around as long as I have, you would notice some patterns in movies. That's for sure. And that's happened quite often with me. Yes, sir, folks. So, yeah, I'm a top secret agent, and I've been around for quite a while. I do mean quite a while. And I noticed these things. So I've definitely watched a lot of these types of movies in the past, that's for sure. And I did pick up quite a few things. And it does feel like sometimes they don't really want to really try to do anything original. Yeah, I would like that, folks. I would like someone actually trying to do something a bit more original. What I really can't understand is that none of the movies I just showed you ever really touch upon the subject matter of a transsexual woman or transgendered or one or the other or whatnot. This kind of a thing is really rarely discussed among the LGBT type movies like at all, and I don't understand as to why. Why is this such a taboo, even in this kind of a thing? I really don't get it. So yeah, folks, don't get me wrong. I know before anybody tells me, I know. They've already made a film titled Trans America. Yes, I've seen that film some time ago, and honestly, I didn't think it was that good of a movie. I really thought it was pretty bad, honestly. So I didn't like it. Oh boy, folks, we just started this movie review, and this movie does not look good at all, folks. Honestly. Alright, I know I'm coming off like I'm being a negative Nancy and whatnot. I know I'm coming off like that, which is true. And another thing I would like to discuss is that, there's been lots of popular comic book movies over the years and they plan to make more afterwards. So what I'm wondering here is that where can we get LGBT one? And I know there's been like fan made stuff with popular characters, of course, but often the acting isn't very good. The production value is rather low as well. Uh, so can't really start your own character really and make your own because if you do that, you may suffer the same fate as well. So there's that. Oh boy. I'm only 6 minutes into the review and I still haven't talked about the plot. And you know what that means? As always, I do have to talk about the plot of this film. So let's just, get into it, shall we? The basic premise of this film centers around the idea that there's this divorced Israeli woman whom hires a single African woman as a nanny, and soon, as you can guess, the two women form a passionate relationship, as friends. That leads to, you guessed it, um, romantic relationship kind of a thing. Yeah, it's just that predictable. Oh boy. So yeah, these two individuals, they have their own things going on in their lives for their own different reasons, of course. So yeah, let's just say that our main characters do have to do what they have to do. So yes, folks, the basic idea is that there's this individual, this woman, this divorcee type of character, this woman with two kids has this lesbian affair, I guess you can say, with a woman she hired as a nanny. And of course, the romance doesn't go smoothly like you might expect. So yeah, this is definitely one of those films that goes up, one of those all cliches that you've already seen. So yeah. So yeah, if the narrow-minded ex-husband isn't thorough enough to take the children away, the nanny, of course, is found out to be accepting money for sexual favors. If you catch my drift. So yeah, this kind of stuff has been explored in here, and yeah, it's nothing really original. When you think about it, folks, it's just your typical run-up-the-mill kind of a movie. How in the hell did this film win any awards? Yeah, this LGBT movie, it wasn't very good, folks, like at all. I mean, okay, it's not exactly the worst thing I've ever seen, sure, but I, I was not invested with the characters. They come out boring. The entire movie is boring, and just no, no, uh, Mr. Monkey, no, no, you little bastard. Yeah, time for you to die. There you go. Anyway. And of course, the characters are poor. There's something to do with low income housing, low income apartments, and whatnot. So they, of course, have to make money in some sort of way, of course. Oh, yeah, wow, real original. Somebody of the LGBT community is poor. Nothing new there. They couldn't even try to make it seem more clever, I guess. I make it seem more refreshing somehow, but it just comes out like beat for beat the stereotypical, lesbian life or what have you. One is lesbian, or maybe one is bisexual, or both, or whatnot. They couldn't even try to mix it up a bit more, I guess you can say, but just whatever, I suppose. Just whatever. Oh, how fantastic. I have to review this movie because it's on my to do list. Whatever, guess. So, yeah, there's nothing interesting, really. Like I was saying, the characters come off one dimensional. There's no real plot progression, really. And if the people in this film didn't care, why should I? I don't know, folks. Just whatever, I suppose. I have the DVD here. Guess. Got time to kill this thing off, too. Alright. There you go. Anyway, on with the review. Oh boy, folks. I'd much rather be watching a different kind of a movie right now. And that will at least be more enjoyable than this. At the very least, it's not trying to be more than what it is. Oy. Maybe I should just, you know, make my own superhero thing with the LGBT thing going on, rather than just complain about Hollywood or anybody else not doing that enough. And I guess that would make sense, I suppose. Oy. As for the acting in here, folks, it's nothing groundbreaking. I can't say the acting in here was anything great, but I mean, the acting isn't exactly super amateurish, really, but it does its service, I suppose. But I wouldn't say the acting is worth mentioning for any kind of awards or anything. Not the shittiest acting, really, but it's just okay, I guess. Just like the vast majority of this movie is okay. Well, not really, I should say, because there's a lot of moments here that could have made this film a lot better than what it was. So, it's just whatever, I suppose. I kind of felt this film was pretty boring in a lot of ways. Oh boy, folks, this movie is so uninspiring. I'd much rather be talking about something else right now. Yeah, seriously. How are you still alive? You little bastard. Seriously. Anyway, I'm bored. I mean, granted, the Twilight films are far, far worse than this film could ever be, so there's that. And yes, it tries to be more competent with its story structure, but even with that, folks, I feel like it doesn't have anything new to offer, really. It just goes by beat on what these films would usually have the characters go through. So it's been there, done that kind of a thing. But there's like this interracial thing going on, which I don't mind really. That's fine. Different strokes for different folks, I guess you can say. However, I felt that that was definitely a missed opportunity to explore into. They could have used that as a way to maybe benefit the plot somehow, go into each other's cultures some sort of way. At least dive more into it in some sort of fashion. I don't know how really, but they could somehow make the plot reflect that kind of a thing, since the whole idea is acceptance and whatnot. So, they could have had that there, I guess. I don't know. They could have something to do with that kind of a thing and study each other's cultures or whatever. And maybe by doing that, they could have, get closer to each other. I'm bringing this up because of the fact that it feels like there's a lack of character development in this, really. And there's not much of it, per se. Can't easily predict how this movie is going to end within, the last 30 minutes of this movie. So, it's extremely predictable, cliched, not very original, and I know this is something I rant about before. There seems to be a lack of LGBT movies that don't focus on trans people. Well, trans women or trans men, male to female or female to male. There's hardly any movies about that at all. I don't get it. So I don't care what the budget of this film is. Yeah, it's cheaply made compared to some other movies, but there's a lack of an interesting plot. So I keep going to the same tropes. You're familiar with these movies over and over again. And so these types of movies are either focusing upon lesbians or gay men. Sometimes bisexual from time to time, but that's like a solemn occasion. But they're hardly ever talking about trans women or trans men. Why? Again, like I said, I don't fucking know. What the hell? So yeah, folks, in my honest opinion, this movie is so not worth watching, like at all. No, sorry. I thought some of the dialogue was painful to listen to. The dialogue was not very good, folks. Oh boy, very cringe because of the fact that it just comes off really amateurish. How did this film get all the attention from the movie awards and whatnot is beyond me, because I feel like it didn't really deserve that at all. Still wondering as to how this movie won any awards. I know this is supposed to be one of those independent movies, and it just comes off pretentious in some ways. But then again, a lot of independent movies do come off like that too. To be fair here, but that does not excuse anything. Film again, like I mentioned before, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. I've seen something far worse. I just didn't care. I just did not care at all. Whatever. So anyway, this film gets an overall rating of 4.8 out of 10. It gets a 4.8 out of 10 for me. And of course, as always, thanks for watching and take care. Until next time. Oh yeah. Ugh.